Today in the shop, we took advantage of an exceptional day. We have hit a few of them in the course of doing our MT09 projects. Today just played out better than I could have ever dreamed about. The wind was minimum. The temperature went above freezing early in the day, and I managed to get the rear wheel in silver, get all the clear on, and along the way, the sun was just beaming down on it, and it was sparkling up in my eyes like a diamond ring. And when the day ended, I was just thinking, I can't wait till tomorrow morning to bring it down in the house, put it up by a heating vent, and rub my cheek on it. It's pretty funny. It did come out great. This is truly a day we waited for a long time. We're going to hopefully get the wheel in silver today. The weather looks like it's going to cooperate. It's a bright sunny day. It's going to be above freezing by lunchtime. And we have a lot of shopping errands to do this morning, so we're going to get that all done when we get back. I hope we're going to have the time to get that on some bright, sunny, wind not blowing day. But I guess if you've ever watched a windy video, you know how that plays out. But the bottom line is we were really patient about the sanding. I got to bring the wheel in now, put it under the heating vent while I go out shopping with Karen. Because we did open a bed and breakfast, we've got to buy a lifeboat full of food today to feed these hungry people. Hey, we love feeding them. Karen does anyway. And I know she's got a shopping list longer than my priority list. But the bed and breakfast is on track. The restoration's on track. Today's goal to get the wheel in silver. And if I have to use the hair dryer to help dry the paint, I will. But we're coming up. We're right about above freezing. But I'd like to be a couple degrees more just to make it more comfortable to paint. And this is that experimental 4-to-1 mix that I made that worked out so good on the front wheel. I can't wait to see that rear wheel, if you only knew. Now what's been giving me inspiration is every day I come out here when I change the battery chargers around and oogle that front wheel and all these other little modifications that we've made. And I've got a ton more coming. Every day I seem to add something to the list. But right now it's that rear wheel. Oh, I can't wait. And our first night at the bed and breakfast went pretty well. We had a nice family dinner at the end of the night. It was really a lot of fun. I have to admit, having a bed and breakfast is fun, as long as you can get somebody else to do the cleanup at the end of the night. Everybody knows I love these custom wheels. They're all out on our channel. My humble bike collection, I think they all have custom wheels now. And the biggest thing, I have been waiting for this MT09 rear wheel. I've been working on that for a week already. And this is the kind of day it is. Icicles everywhere. And I thought most of the snow had melted away, but yeah, there's still a little bit around. So I got everything in, shut the garage door. Now I can oogle my wheel. It's up under the heating vent. We're going to head out, and when we get back, I'm sure that wheel will be nice and cooked and ready to go, and the temperature should be up over freezing. And that coffee on a day like today, that tastes so good, especially when you have extra guests in the house, and we have been having a great time. Well, we're back finally, and oh, it's drying up like just perfectly, perfect. I didn't see a spot in here that needs to be touched up. I'm going to mix the paint and try to take advantage of the day we have. It looks like it's going to be a great day to paint. Now just to explain, this is a batch of paint that I made for the front wheel. I used exactly half of it, so I assume I'll have enough left. And what this is the 4-to-1 mix of urethane that has paste pigment, where we did the paint test on a previous video. You can watch that if you're interested in mixing paint. And what I'm going to do with this is strain it as I put it into the gun. It gets mixed 4-to-1 with hardener. Then when we're all done, and that coat has tacked out 20 minutes, half an hour, in this temperature with a hairdryer, I don't know, maybe it'll even be more. But then what I'm going to do is clean the gun and put 100% clear in and get 2 coats of clear. So if the day goes as I hope it does, we're going to really be in great shape. By the end of the day, that part will be in the garage drying overnight. So after straining, shaking, and mixing, and getting the wheel out, I was just getting so excited to see this and to take advantage of a day like today. You have to realize in this part of the country, if you don't live in this part of the country, you usually, the day you plan to do something like this, it almost always is cloudy, or it rains, or the wind is blowing, or all of the above, or a herd of rhinoceroses go through town, or something. It's very, very unusual, and I've gotten more than one of them in the course of doing this project, where the day, in the middle of everything, it played out well. So the first side went great, and because we have a lot of sun today, it's allowing me to candle a wheel and see spots I might have missed. I always look at it from after I'm done, every possible angle, side, front, up, down, low, because silver is a really, really difficult color to get right. It shows every flaw, everything in that paintwork. If you get at the slightest little flaw in silver, it shows. But when I got the first side done and did the second side, I was just as happy as could be, because this color is exactly what I had in mind. I was trying to avoid that look of the other silvers that I've seen. I've seen cars that are even just a little too tin-foily looking or too chromy looking. I wanted this to have the look of, well, I had a picture in my mind, and luckily for me, it came out perfect. Now, in the world of model airplanes, it's very common to paint the whole plane silver, even if there's no part of the plane that's going to be silver in the end, because the silver lets you see all the flaws. And you can imagine on a wheel like this, such a complex shape, how much sanding I did. I even did some aluminum carving and grinding on this wheel. This is the clear we're going to use, and thank you, Joe Padula, for donating this. This is probably the last thing we're going to get out of this gallon. We've about used it up on this project. Now, of course, as soon as you put a little bit of clear on, it changes the color. Here I got to use the hairdryer just to kind of warm the part up. It was still pretty cool, but I was anticipating seeing a little bit of a color deepening, and as this dries up, of course, it looks more and more like aluminum. This is the clear going on. I wanted to show some of this. This is in real time right now, because I'm going and really painting it like an airbrush. And then I'll fast forward through the rest of it. But it's not just you take the gun and spray on a coat of paint. I'm putting this on exactly like you would if you had an airbrush, in many, many, many multiple thin coats. And that's what seems to be the best that I've been able to achieve on getting a wheel to look really, really good. And this is where doing all that paint testing and mixing ahead of time and using that old RD wheel, I knew what was going to happen at the very end of this. I knew what I was working toward. Now, if I had never done the test wheel, I really wouldn't know. I might get to this point and maybe I wouldn't be happy, but because the way that the color turned out on the RD wheel, then I knew I had that jar of paint, and that was exactly the color I was looking for. And it was not something I can't really explain in a very simple way. I know what I didn't want more than what I want. I did not want that look of a chrome wheel. I did not want the thing to be too sparkly. This bike, I don't think that would have matched the character of the bike. But I did want it to look like aluminum, like a shiny, beautiful, polished aluminum. So you might be thinking, one of the things that I even thought of is, well, why not just polish the whole wheel? We certainly could do that. In fact, you can send the wheel out and get it polished and pay a lot of money. But it's in my mind, I had a picture of this color, and I was looking at every single silver car that would go by and trying to picture how is that going to look. And when I got the whole thing done, and it's hard to explain that, when I was all done, I said, that's exactly what I was thinking about all the while. Now, because of the temperature, I was trying to just keep the part from, I didn't want it to be hot. I just wanted it to be probably, if I could get the wheel to 50 degrees, I would get it to paint. The paint will just lay down a little bit nicer and be a little bit shinier than if it was 35 like it really is. Now, I'm really not sure that if you can see the sun reflecting off this or off the hub, how that looks in real life. Wow, that is really beautiful, and we have really taken advantage of an unbelievably good day to paint. This really played out well to my advantage. And to be honest, it's all about patience and not rushing and taking your time, and that hairdryer seems to be a good thing. On a day like this, we're just above freezing now. I think it was 35 when Karen yelled out the last time. But we are definitely taking advantage of a paintable day. Mild wind, not much wind even. Well, by the time I was finished painting this wheel and oogling it and having an extra cup of coffee, and I just couldn't be happy. This day ended on an absolutely positive note. Now, because the temperature dropped way down here in the last hour or so, I've really thought it might be a good idea to get the quartz heater out and just babysit this. Thing is, I wish I had a little a mouse that would walk along here and keep this thing spinning, but unfortunately, I don't have them. I guess I'm the mouse. Anyway, we're going to just babysit this, I guess another 15-20 minutes, and get back down to the shop. The quartz heater seems like maybe that I should have been doing that all along in this cold weather. You just don't want everything to be frozen cold. And then tomorrow morning, we'll bring that down to the cellar, let it sit for 2 or 3 days up by a heating vent. Now, this has been a pretty productive and special day, and on a day like today, I like to look back at the original wheel, and this was quite an adventure. I found 5 of these in my rafters. I thought I had 1. I had 5. And doing that test little part, this is the test part, and I got to evaluate it and hammer on it with a hammer and see how good it is. Now that I've done 2 wheels, real wheels in real time with the 4-to-1 mix with the paste pigment, I think it's safe to say it works. We'll find out if I go out there tomorrow and all the paint fell off. It looks like that's going to be a real good part of our future, and especially with the price of paint going through the roof. Anytime I can mix my own paint, boy, that's just a free. I like that. But anyway, we do have the farm to take care of, and there's a very special thing tonight. It's Rob's birthday party, so I have to get all showered up and cleaned up and put on a clean shirt, but I'll be dreaming about that wheel out there. And tomorrow morning it comes in the shop and goes under a heating vent. So time to get ready for the family party. So with the family all cleaned up, we're heading out for a great pizza party. This is a tradition in our family. I think for over 10 years we have a Rob's birthday party at the Park Tavern. So we are going to head out. It is Rob's 50th birthday party today. Should have a great party. It's a beautiful day.
What was emoji?
A big 6 cent.
Let's see what it is. Turn, let's see what it is. Hey! Hey!
That's awesome. Oh, I got the biggest guy.
What is it, Miles?
I'm just sure
It's really the only gift you need.
Ron, can we see it?
Grandma.
Toast, a toast,
none of them.
a toast.
Look at Noah.
Pop up and do your business and then
Look at Noah. Let's get the biggest.
So everybody has to have a salad at a healthy birthday party. Oh, the young lovers. Oh, look at this. Oh, that looks good enough to eat. Oh, I love it. I love it. Look at that. Oh my God. You never go wrong with having pizza for your birthday party. Hey. You, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mandalorian. Happy birthday to you. Hey! Hey, blow out the candles.
This out.
You guys in show business, you want to pose for a picture?
Wait, hold on a second.
Oh my.
Miles.
Your son.
Here, let me get
Miles, let's
Yeah, get in.
move that.
Yay!
Hey! Whoa! Time to abuse the birthday boy.
Guys, look up. Aiden, look up. Oh, God, it's tough. Oh, I got you guys.
The bride cuts the cake. The bride cuts the cake. Come on, we're hungry.
Ooh, look, 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 look. Look at this, look at this. There's a, Mommy,
End of a perfectly good birthday cake.
There's a fly Cheerios for supper.
So Rob is now 50, and of course, Rob has been part of our life, my life, for the last 30 years. Karen and I are married 30 years, and he has been a great part of our family. Rob, this sunset's for you. So I thought as a celebration for Rob's 50th birthday, I'd put together a little collage of some of the things Rob, some of the people, the new subscribers may not know, Rob bought this bike in 2009. The Ninja, this was not his first choice. He wanted a 250. I talked him into getting a 650 in case he ever abandoned riding, that I would take over the bike. Well, it took a lot of years. It took 7 years and other things in his life that he eventually did sell the bike to me, but we both ride it, of course. And we went on a vacation together to Cape Cod, and when we came back, he decided he was going to pursue other things, his career, number one, and I took the bike over. Now, that's two intertwined stories. So now I had this bike in my collection that I didn't consider it a custom bike. So I, of course, devoted about 500 hours to, and these are some of the cold rides Rob and I went on together. Boy, oh boy. These bring back bad memories, in fact. I remember being so cold. But I was younger then, so now I'm smarter. I have an electric jacket, so. But some of the things, we went on these rides, a lot of them in the park. This is on Auden Drive. He got to ride the GS, and of course he's a great dad, a great member of our family. But then he fell in love with the RD. After he sold me the bike and I restored it, he fell in love with my RD, and every time we'd go for a ride, he'd take the RD and leave me with the plain Jane bike. So I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to restore this bike, turn it into something special, and then give it back to him. Well, it didn't work out exactly as planned. Once I get done with the restoration, he still wanted to ride the RD. So we went on a bunch of rides. And all he ever wanted to do was ride the RD. He loved the RD. Now, there's a simple reason. He's been to motocross school out in California, and the RD is like a dirt bike, let's be honest. But so I wound up with a restored bike. I really restored it for him as a kind of a, I don't know, a tribute or a surprise, an appreciation of what a great son-in-law he's been. But I wound up with the bike. And, you know, I'm not sure about it, but anyway, that whole restoration is on our channel. And I especially like the gold paint. John Pothia was great making up the custom stenciling. Thomas Luciano did some computer work and generated us stencils for the word Kawasaki. But now I've got this bike has 36,000 miles on it as far as I remember. And it's really been two bikes. It's been an Evil Twin. It's been a plain Jane bike that we used for our daily driver. And right now with the gold wheels and all the other stuff, it's still a great bike. And it's still the nicest thing about the bike is it sneaks up on you and you don't really notice it, and then you start looking at it real close and you realize, wow, it's pretty cool. And Miles, we have been fooling around with the idea of getting Miles one of those little motocross bikes. Not yet. 10 and a half. Not sure he's ready for it. Maybe this summer, maybe next summer. But this bike has a great history. So that's just another little history of our family, some of the history of that Ninja, that black and gold Ninja. And to finish out the story of Buddy, which a lot of people don't know, new subscribers. A little over a year ago, we bought this puppy for Miles. He's an Australian Labradoodle. He comes from Hudson, New York. He is a cute, lovable puppy. He has become part of our family, and we treasure every minute we have together. And now with the kids living here, the fun never seems to end. So I thought you'd enjoy knowing some of the little story of Rob, about our family, about the puppy. And now that the kids are living here in our bed and breakfast, and it's looking like it's going to be probably 2 months the way it's playing out. But half of their house is in a dumpster now. Today was the first day we got to see it. It's gutted. It's just a shell now. And they're going to have a beautiful home when they're done. And we're going to have a great adventure in the meantime. And I have great memories of all the things our family did and the rides Rob and I went on. And this bike I restored, I really restored it for him. And then he fell in love with my RD. So I don't know about that. Anyway, that's part of the story. And it's the ongoing story of us all in the world of motorcycling. And thanks so much for watching.